The quiet one was watching us die. A horror story. I still remember the way the room felt that night. It was colder than it should have been, even for October. We were 5 friends, drunk on cheap whiskey and college arrogance, laughing in the glow of a dying campfire. And one of us was already planning the end. We met our freshman year at Rutledge University, a small private college tucked into the woods of Vermont, where the leaves turned blood red in the fall and the silence at night was almost religious. There were 5 of us: me, Sean, Tyler, Casey, Will, and the quiet kid, Jacob. Jacob was different. Not in a weird way, not exactly. He was polite, always helpful, always listening. But there was something unreadable in his eyes, like his thoughts were somewhere deeper, somewhere darker than the rest of us dared to go. We only noticed it later, of course, after everything. It started as a joke, like most things do in college. Tyler was always the instigator. Loud, charming, dangerously bored. One night in early October, he burst into the common room holding a dusty old Ouija board he'd found at a garage sale. "We're summoning a demon tonight," he grinned. "Who's in?" We rolled our eyes, but it was Rutledge, the kind of place where the town had ghost stories older than the buildings. So we lit candles, grabbed beers, and made a circle in the old stone cabin behind campus that served as a recreational space, but hadn't been cleaned in years. It was just us 5, the original crew. We all placed our fingers on the planchette and started asking stupid questions. "Is there anyone here? What's your name? Will Sean ever get laid? Shut up, Tyler." It was all jokes until the planchette moved. I swear to God it wasn't any of us. I asked. Later, under very different circumstances, I asked again, and again. Everyone denied it. But that night it moved to Jacob, and then it stopped. Jacob had been silent the whole time, his fingers barely touching the wood. He didn't look surprised, just tired. Tyler laughed. "Okay, who did that?" No one answered. Then Jacob stood up, muttered, "I need some air," and walked out. We followed after a few minutes, assuming he was embarrassed. But when we got outside, he was gone, disappeared into the woods like he'd never been there. He came back the next morning like nothing had happened. Said he'd gone for a walk to clear his head. That was the first time I saw it. His hands were dirty. Mud under his nails. Scratches on his neck like branches had clawed at him. I should have asked more. I should have known. But we were 19th. Invincible. Nothing bad could touch us. Weeks passed. The air got colder. Leaves fell. Midterms came and went. But Jacob changed. He started sleeping less, eating less, writing in a notebook constantly, pages and pages in tiny, obsessive handwriting. Casey joked, "Maybe he's writing our deaths." Jacob smiled. "Maybe." We laughed, nervous, but we still didn't take it seriously, until Will went missing. It was November 6th, a Thursday. Will never showed up for our late-night Halo session. At first, we thought he passed out drunk somewhere. He'd done it before. But by morning, his bed hadn't been slept in. His phone was on the floor, screen shattered. We called campus security, then the police. They found his coat by the river, but no body, just water. Cold, dark, endless water. The campus went into lockdown for a week. Counselors were brought in. Everyone was shaken, especially us. We'd known Will since orientation. His laugh echoed in every room. The silence left in his absence was deafening. Jacob didn't cry. He didn't say much at all, just kept writing in that damn notebook. A month passed. Then Tyler died. It was called an accident, a car crash off a cliff road at 2 a.m. They said he was drunk, reckless, not wearing a seatbelt, but we knew better. Tyler was reckless, sure, but not stupid. Casey and I went through his room after the funeral. We found his phone. The last text he'd received was from Jacob. Just one word. Soon. We confronted him. Of course we did. We cornered him in the library, heart pounding, anger vibrating in every word. What the hell does soon mean? Jacob looked up from his notebook, calm, almost peaceful. I didn't kill him, he said. But you knew, I snapped. You knew something. He nodded. I told him. I warned him. But he laughed. There was silence. Then he added, I tried to help. Casey wanted to go to the cops. I almost let him. But something stopped us. Maybe fear. Maybe some deep, instinctive dread, like looking into the eyes of someone who'd already seen your funeral. We distanced ourselves, avoided Jacob, tried to move on, but Jacob didn't stop writing. By January, Casey wasn't sleeping. He kept texting me late at night, rambling about dreams, fire, blood, hands grabbing at him from underground. He started drinking alone, stopped going to class. Then one night, he showed up at my door, shaking. Sean, he whispered, I think I'm next. We stayed up all night, lights on, knives under pillows like it would make a difference. But nothing happened. The next morning, he left for a coffee run and never came back. They found his body in the woods 2 days later, hung from a tree. Suicide, they said. But I saw the carving in the bark. 5 letters scorched into the wood. S-E-A-N. That night, I finally broke into Jacob's room. The notebook was there, dozens of them actually, lined up neatly on a shelf. I opened the newest one. Page after page of names, dates, sketches, symbols. Each of us had a section. Each of us had a death already written. Will, drowned by guilt. Tyler, fell from grace. Casey, choked by fear. And mine, last to fall, the one who watched, the one who told the story. I ran. Not metaphorically. I packed a bag and left campus that night. No goodbye, no forwarding address, just vanished. It's been 6 years. I changed my name, moved states, built a new life, but last week a package arrived at my door. No return address. Inside, a notebook, Jacob's handwriting. The last page just said, now you understand. Now you can finish it. So here I am, typing this out, shaking, eyes darting to every shadow, because I am finishing it, this story. But if I disappear after this, if I'm the next obituary you read, just remember, we thought he was just a quiet kid. But silence doesn't mean safety. Sometimes it means you're the only one listening. Subscribe to the storyline. Weekly horror from the shadows.